Hi, I finally put together the functional tennis warm-up. These were due a while ago, but sorry about the delay. The exercises are mainly made up of exercises I've used over the past number of years that I've worked with various physios and strength coaches that have helped me prevent from injury and also recover from certain injuries that I have. And I find that using these exercises before I play tennis help me get warmed up, help me get mobile, and also help me build strength. So if I'm playing tennis, 3 to 6 times a week, I'm doing these exercises before I play all the time. And even if I go running or do other exercises, I try and do these basic exercises. So it's helped me build strength. So I'm building some glute strength, core strength, shoulder strength, hamstring strength all the time. And it just gives me a good level of strength. So the exercises, I've some basic exercise in there that I use, and they take about 7 to 10 minutes depending on what speed you do them at. And that's enough warm up. That's what I do most of the time. But sometimes the people I'm playing with are running late or have some extra time, and it means I can do 2 sets. I can do 2 sets of the exercises, or I can add in other exercises which I've included here, that if I'm feeling sore or tight in certain areas, or some areas need to be worked on, I think I can include them as well. So it's based on a core set of exercises plus some extra ones which you can do depending on time, how you're feeling, and other sorts. But yeah, these exercises have really helped me stay injury free. Now I do pick up the odd injury from time to time. Middle-aged 30s tends to do that to you, but overall I'm in much healthier shape now than I was in my late 20s, and I really encourage you to put in these exercises or similar exercise before you play all the time, or before you do any sort of exercises. It's a good mentality to get into, and it's a good habit to pick up. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Please note, I am not a strength trainer, physical trainer, or physio. I've got these exercises from working with these guys based on my injuries, and they've helped me. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. We'll start off first with some front to back leg kicks. Basically left leg to right hand 10 times, and then right leg to left hand 10 times. This exercise works your hamstring, glutes and quads. Start slowly and then gently work up the pace of the leg kick, trying to get more reach. Next we'll move into some side to side leg swings. This works the abductors and the adductors, or also the groin. So let's do 10 again on each side. Next up is the RDL. Here we're working the glutes and the hamstring. This is a great exercise to build strength, and as you progress you can add more weight. But simply your front leg stays planted, your back leg gets pushed back, have a small bend in your front leg, try and keep your hips parallel to the ground and keep your toes pointing straight down so your hips don't open. And the goal here is to do 10 on both sides. It's important when you do the RDL to keep your hip closed, so when you come back on one leg, not to do that, not to open the hip like that. Try and keep the hip closed and the foot facing down. And a good tool I find if you use a broomstick and put it on one foot, and when you do your RDL, if you can feel better where your foot is, and it helps you keep the hip and the foot closed. So you can do 10 just with that. It gives you a good feel, and you should feel a good stretch also. Next up is a glute bridge with 3 steps specifically. By having your heels touch the ground first, it isolates the glute, means there's less hamstring working, and also it's important to activate your core. So before you get going, set your core, tilt your hips, raise up 3 steps out on each leg while trying to keep your hips up as high as possible. Come back in and repeat by 10 times. If you find this difficult, at the end of the video I'll show you much simpler bridges. Next up is one of my favorite exercises, the dead bug. It's a great exercise for building a strong core. You simply set your core, try and keep your back on the ground if possible, your lower back, and as slow as possible do left leg, right arm, right leg, left arm. So do alternate push-outs, and it's up to you how many you do. You can start by doing 10 on each leg and then working up to 25 on each leg if even more, but try and go slower, possibly even slower than I'm going in the video here, and control it, keep the lower back on the ground and enjoy it. Next up are just some twists that I do. I find they're great for the lower back, just releasing it and making it a bit more mobile. Simply rock 15 times left to right, and then also further down I then start to move the heels off the ground and go left and right with the heels off the ground, as you'll see me do here now, and that gives a bit of a core workout also. Yeah, if you do find yourself sliding down, I'm not sure why, but I tend to slide down. Sometimes you can hold weights in your hands, and by holding the weights in your hand will stop you sliding down a mat or the floor. Next is the first of 2 thoracic spine openers, and we call this one the book opener. Simply do 10 on both sides, and it's great for just loosening up the thoracic spine. This is the second thoracic spine opener, and we call this one the 3-point T-spine opener, and again it's great for mobility in the thoracic spine area. Again here do 10 on both sides. Next we have the plank. The plank should be part of any warm-up. Simply you can hold between 30 seconds to a minute, up to you, even more if you wish. And yeah, just keep the core nice and tight, a little raise on the bum and hold away. If you think this is too easy or you want a different variation where you warm the shoulder, I'll also put after this one a plank with some reaches, which I find really good and a lot harder than the standard plank. So I mix this one up with the standard plank, and this is the same as the plank, only you do some arm reaches. You try and hold the arm reach for a second, come back and alternate arms. I do about 20 altogether, and you can work your way up to 30. It's quite hard. Keep your core nice and tight. Try and get your weight going through both feet so you don't rock from side to side, and go slowly. It's really hard if done right, but there's a lot of benefit to it. Next up is the side plank. Simply hold on each side for 30 seconds up to a minute. If you feel like you can do more than that, push through more than a minute, but it's important to keep a strong core, keep the hips up, nice and steady, and you can put your left hand in the air. I find this adductor or groin plank really great for building some strength in the groins. Now hold it for 20 to 30 seconds. You can do more than 30 seconds, that's amazing, but yeah, keep it nice and strong. I find that this has helped me reduce little pains that I was getting in my groin, and I find it really beneficial. So give both sides a go, 20 to 30, try and push to 40, which is hard, seconds ago on each side. Next up are some calf raises. I simply try and do 15 on each side. Go up as high as you can and come down slowly, possibly slower than I've come down here, and try and get up a bit higher. But these are really good to get the calves activated. Here we throw in some glute shuffles with the band, slowly going from left to right and right to left, trying to bend down and get the bum back and try and use the glutes here. The glutes love a lot of reps, so try and do 15 to 20 on each side. I always like to try and finish the warm-up with some 60-second skips, and just from standard skipping, sometimes a bit more intense, sometimes some double hops or sometimes some footwork stuff. But skipping rope is always a great tool to have in the bag and to get the heart rate that bit higher. Again, this one here should be part of my main warm-up. It's the rotator warm-up using the bands. I use a blue band, which is just medium strength. You can get different strength bands. And simply do 15 on both sides. Try and keep the elbow a bit higher than I have it there. And yeah, fire away. Then do 15 on each side of the reverse way. These band rows can be great to warm up the shoulder and back. Simply do 15 to 20, nice controlled pace. The band press can be great to warm up the shoulders and chest. Again, do 15 to 20 at a nice controlled pace. The basic glute bridge here. Tighten up your stomach, try and get your back flat on the floor, your lower back, and then drive up through the glutes. Try and pause at the top and then come back down, reset and go again. Try and do between 10 and 15. And to make it a bit harder, you can put your heels, so you can lift your toes and just try and have your heels. So that means you focus more on your glute and it takes the hamstring out of the exercise. The single leg glute bridge is like the ordinary glute bridge, but we're just pushing up with one leg only, the other leg having the air, and it's a bit more difficult. You'll feel fatigued a lot quicker, and try and do anything between 8 and 12. These shoulder wiper blades are very good for warming up the arm and improving mobility in the arm. They possibly should be part of my main warm-up, but there's normally time constraints. I can only get so much in, but I would try and do 10 to 15 each side. The goal is to try and keep, on this specific side, try and keep your left and right knee down on the ground, and then use your right arm and try and touch the ground as you go into the circular motion. Do it on both sides. Next, I'm going to talk about some other exercises that I don't do all the time. I just tend to do time to time, depending on how much time I have or if any other areas I have to work with. But I'm going to start off here with just some calf foam rolling work. Sometimes it feels great when you roll out the calf, especially if you've had a few tough sessions. And this is good before or after, by the way. But just spend, 30 seconds up to a minute on each calf, trying to get both sides of the calf. I find this foam rolling glute exercise really good. It's where you just bend one leg over the other and then you roll that glute, the leg that you have bent, you roll the glute on that side, you roll it over the foam roller, try and zone in on the different parts of the glute, any specific tight parts. I find this can be really good, it's really simple to do. Try and do 30 seconds to a minute on each side. I just want to say thank you very much for checking out the exercises. I really hope you find them useful. If you have any questions at all, please let me know, and yeah, go and give them a go. Bye.